This is Jordan Tower with JT News. Make sure you smash that like button, smash that subscribe, and let's get right into the news. All right, so Ice Cube talks about AI versus sampling, okay? Someone said, Ice Cube, musician who became famous rapping over samples, says AI is demonic. Is this guy an idiot? Sampling is an art. AI is not, okay? Since samples are approved or denied by the song owners, totally different than taking a dead artist and making a new song they never approved and saying things they may not agree with. That's evil and demonic to me. Yeah, they didn't write the lyrics. You're putting, actually, imagine this guy who wrote this, imagine somebody else tweeting for him and saying, yeah, you meant to say that. Like, come on. Some people don't have a lot of brains. It's kind of scary to see what people are thinking all day. That's what I hate about social media. You realize how many people don't have brains. Okay, obviously that doesn't go for me and you, but there's a lot of other people out here that are a little off the spectrum, okay? Well, that comes on news of Universal Music Group embracing AI. This is really dangerous, okay? Soundscapes with new deal. The music label led by Lucian Grange. This is the one that Drake talks about. Lucian, I'm ripping girls in my budget, you know, and this is the one that has the son, Elliot Grange, that runs 10K projects that gave you the acts of Tekashi and Ice Spice and Trippie Redd, okay? He will use artificial intelligence technology to allow UMG artists to create mood music, soundscapes, while enforcing their copyrights. I guess if you don't embrace, see, remember when they didn't embrace Napster, right? The music industry. They could have embraced Napster. Napster was willing to give them Napster, right? And then they could have charged for the music, but they were like, nah, we don't even want this, right? So then what happens? Steve Jobs makes iTunes, and the label's not in control of iTunes. The label's actually losing 30% of every transaction to iTunes, Apple, and you know, he dominates the music industry, right? When they could have had that themselves with Napster. You know, they could have had Napster, and Apple would have been forced to add Napster as an app to have music. The music industry, if they had all gotten together and agreed on that, they would have been in control of the change in technology. And I think that's what they're trying to do right now with this deal. Gap wants their $2 million back from Kanye West because he tied them into, the city center. He tied them into the Art City Center. Back in 2022, the city center took Gap to court for a breach of contract, but the clothing brand feels like Ye's fault because they were wrapped up in a mess. The Art City Center reportedly leased the building in downtown Los Angeles to Gap, which used the location for the Yeezy store in 2021-2022. Gap wasn't allowed to make alterations to the building without approval. So Gap was hit with a suit. $1.5 million in damages. Gap blaming it all on Kanye. This will be a stretch. Because I'm going to tell you something. Gap is a brand that's over. Kanye gave it some a fresh look. They should have just separated the politics and ideas from the guy. They should have found a way to do that instead of quickly folding. Because if you get into business with Kanye, right, you already know anything can happen. And you should pre-prep for that we're doing a deal with him for his fashion, not for what he believes in. And then you separate the company, the stuff he's doing from your company. They did. I thought they did that with YZY. Yeah, right. But you could, because people get greedy and they want to fold it into Gap instead of keeping it separate. If you kept it separate, you could say Gap, we don't put that stuff. You know, we have a separate stores and separate online. They could have gone direct online shopping. Now, technically, you want to, or you could dedicate part of the store and say you're leasing it out to that company, right? And it's a contract. There would have been a creative way to do this, and they didn't. Oh gosh, Lil Durk talking about Tekashi games. Like, I want to knock all the teeth out of his mouth. You ain't doing anything, bro, unless someone around you is doing it. I'm sorry, and I know Lil Durk is, from the streets and all that, and he's done stuff, but at this point in career, he's not doing anything. It's mostly the people around him. And Lil Durk is someone that got in by default. He'd been trying for a decade until King Von came along, who actually was a talented rapper. I got to give it up. As much as a demon he was, and I didn't like that, I got to say, the guy could rap. He made sense. But he was also pretty evil. Anyways, him passing actually brought light to Lil Durk. Nobody cared about Durk before that, really. Tyrese, we got to play this. He's always talking about his ex-wife and telling us about his personal business that we don't want to know about, right?
I left the courtroom during my divorce trial, and I realized that it was never love, it was just a transaction. Wow, so we did a whole marriage and did the whole duration of a child and starting a family just to find out that it was all about money, status, transaction. Imagine.
Maybe she felt like it was a transaction for you where you were buying her. You got to look at both perspectives. Tyrese only looks at things from his perspective because in his world, he's all that matters. I can't imagine. Tyrese, this is like his third failed public relationship where, come on. Just even his bromances like with The Rock, see how that folded out. He's got his issues. Now, this is a sad story, but this is a Samantha Diaz. Oh, this is a girl? I thought that was a guy. Okay, Samantha Diaz, known as Just Sam, took the world by storm with their vocals. Oh, they put their because they don't know if it's okay. 2020 as a contestant at American Idol. Singer won the prize of $250,000 contract, which is usually, probably got 50 grand in his pocket, right? Or her pocket. I'm sorry. I don't know. His or her. We'll say that. Okay. Oh, okay. So now Sam is back on trains. In 2021, I was super embarrassed to go back on trains because he used to get on the, metro and sing and beg for money, right? But he has to now because he's not able to make ends meet. Of course, she lives in New York. And Samantha is on the train begging for money. With looking fresher than I ever look stepping out. Okay, you're looking fresh there. You got to look a little more broke to get some money on that train. But I guess here's the problem here. Okay, there's no guidance. Unfortunately, nobody from American Idol or at that whoever gave Samantha a contract gave any guidance. Like, hey, start a YouTube channel, do this. Like, there's no way. Some people go back to what they started at, and Samantha started at begging on a train, right? And not begging because you're singing and asking for a donation. Somebody, I hope, can at least offer guidance here, because someone in the music industry, because this could end up where Samantha's just on the train and keeps doing this. First of all, Samantha should get a job and do this in free time. Maybe that's already happening. I don't know. But I would suggest this should just be a side hustle and do your music at night. To make it, you have to have your hustle that pays you and then your hustle that you're hoping to pay you one day. You have to do two things at once. I had to do it. Most people have to do that are starting out doing anything. Okay? You, me, anybody. Okay? If you want to do more than your job, you got to do your passion or something that you won't like to do after work. Maybe that's what Samantha's doing, though. I don't know, you know. Obviously, he's still got some money, right? Okay, and I'm gonna be honest. 2020, that money's gone. 50 grand. It says 250, but 200 they reserve for. Oh no, you need this for recording, right? They always do that, right? And then you got to pay taxes. Maybe 150 was reserved for recording, right? And usually in that budget, that's like that was like a single. So they probably already did the single and it didn't work. And there's no guarantee it's going to work. But, you know, you know what? Let's applaud for Sam for still trying. Maybe they put this out hoping they were going to get donations and stuff. I mean, nah, I'm not going to do that. But guidance. Somebody should step in to give guidance. Right? That's about it. I'm not the person. We need somebody like that's actually been in the music business. That's a singer. I wouldn't know what to do. This is Jordan Tower with JT News. Peace.